نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونستهديه ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا من يهدي الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له والصلاة والسلام على حبيب قلوبنا وشفيع ذنوبنا أبي القاسم محمد وعلى آل بيته الطيبين الطاهرين. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقه قولي. Dear respected brothers and sisters, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I know every night when I come out here, I feel a different level of energy. And I know how much people ate and how much people slept just based on the energy in this hall. So it seems that you ate well, but you didn't sleep well tonight. So with this, let us recite Allah salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. We have been talking in the past few nights regarding attaining the level of taqwa, piety. And we talked about the barriers, what sometimes can be a barrier for us to attain that level of piety. And we talked about one of the ways that we can assert our journey into attaining piety, that is making sure that we're sincere. But one of the barriers, the obstacles that we've been discussing is called heedlessness. When we don't give attention to Allah Azza wa Jal, when we don't pay attention to Allah Azza wa Jal, we start forgetting things, we become heedless. When we become heedless, we start losing focus. When we lose focus, we don't attain our goals and objectives. We completely lose track of our purpose in this life. And as the Holy Quran said, the verse that I mentioned in Surah Al-Hashr, and do not be like those who forgot Allah Azza wa Jal, the result was that they forgot themselves. There's a relationship. And in these nights, what we try to assert is the lessons, and we say the lessons. See, I was at one time going to lectures also. I still go to lectures. I benefit from people. I listen attentively. I still have every single day, a day doesn't pass if I do not listen for my lectures in the Hawza. Maybe 2-3 hours every single day. I continuously try to learn, try to benefit. This is something I never stop doing. Why? Because I do believe that in order for me to grow, there is no place, no time for a follower of Ahlul Bayt Salamullahi Ta'ala alayhim that he or she would say, I have enough, or I have learned enough. You continuously keep on learning until the last breath. You keep on learning. One of the things that I find lacking in our community is the time they spend in learning and specifically reading. And this is something we'll discuss later. But why do we get to this point? It's because of heedlessness. And heedlessness is a result of us forgetting our enemies. One of the main enemies that we discussed is the shaitan, and how he is a clear enemy to us, and he tries to whisper into our souls, and we get tempted and we lose focus. Another enemy is ourselves. Sometimes we become our worst enemy. And we'll talk inshallah tomorrow about how the desire become an enemy. But one of the issues that we become heedless of is our time and the age that we live. Listen to the verse. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. And the reason why I cite the verses, dear brothers and sisters, because you know, every time you hear that Islam teaches us lessons, and the Quran is full of lessons. But you know, sometimes some people really do not know how to read the lessons in the Holy Quran. And my job here, one of the things that I try to accomplish is link and create a bond between you and the Quran through learning how to read the lessons in the Holy Quran. Look at the verse. فَذَرْهُمْ يَخُوضُوا وَيَلْعَبُوا حَتَّى يُلَاقُوا يَوْمَهُمُ الَّذِي يُوعَدُونَ. Look at what Allah is saying. Therefore leave them alone, to go on with their false discourses and to sport until they come to face with the day of theirs with which they are threatened. Allah Azza wa Jal says, فَذَرْهُمْ يَخُوضُوا وَيَلْعَبُوا. Let them do whatever they want. Let them just waste their time. Until what? Until حَتَّى يُلَاقُوا يَوْمَهُمُ الَّذِي يُوعَدُونَ. There's a day Allah Azza wa Jal promised us. We become so forgetful, so heedless of it. Why? Look at the word, يَخُوضُوا وَيَلْعَبُوا. Play, let them play. How much of our time we spend playing? I know some of you right now are sitting here and they're actually playing. They're not spending time to learn. I know that for a fact. I know some very few may be holding their iPads, their iPhones, and playing a game. They're playing. What is this? What are they doing? There is a purpose, a bigger purpose of being here, but they're distracted with something small. They're chatting with their friends, they're giggling, they're talking, they're wasting. Why? They're distracted. They took another device, another means to use their time and not use it in accordance to what they're supposed to be doing. When you come here, the point is, besides networking, socializing, seeing people, but when we are here, we're supposed to be learning, but we get distracted. Allah Azza wa Jal says this whole world, in your life, when you are living, also there are distractions. There are ways that sometimes we don't pay attention to what we're supposed to do. Then he says, يَوْمَ يَخْرُجُونَ مِنَ الْأَجْدَاثِ سِرَاعًا. The day, which day? In the first verse he says, حَتَّى يُلَاقُوا يَوْمَهُمُ الَّذِي يُوعَدُونَ. There's a day that they were promised. They will meet that day. This day, dear brothers and sisters, are two types. One is the beginning of the day. Two is the end of that day. What do I mean? I just want to briefly talk about this and go back to the topic. We talk about the day of judgment. There are steps for the day of judgment. The first, most frantic one, the one that truly takes over us and we get so scared, is the moment of death that happens to the soul in this world when it transitions from this world to the hereafter. This is one of the days that we will face. No matter what you do, you will and you shall face this day. It's a transition. Each and every person will transition from this world into the hereafter. But that's only the easiest part. The transition, that moment is the easiest part. The hard part is when you start seeing the result of the work you did in this world. Because what happens, as promised to us, it's through the Holy Prophet Muhammad ﷺ and his holy household, that we will relive what we have done in this world in phases. In purgatory life, number one. Number two, in the day of judgment, when everyone is going to be resurrected. And then we're going to have to go through different stations on the day of judgment. And then at the end of the day of judgment, where there is called the abode, al-mustaqar. That is whether you're in a state of heaven or hell. And you have to go through that by passing ala sirat, the straight path. The path which would be a replica of what you've done in this world. It is nothing new to you. It is only a manifestation of what you have done in this world. So in one statement I can say, you are creating in your own hand your hell and your heaven. You are creating in your own hand, through your own decisions, through your actions, your day of judgment. How do you want your day of judgment to be? You can act it out right now. The problem is, Allah Azza wa Jal is pointing to a fact. When we become forgetful of the day of judgment, what happens? we lose the fact that we are creating our day of judgment. And when we lose that fact, on the day of judgment, we look at what we have and we wonder. But Allah reminds us, this is what you've done. هَذَا مَا جَنَتْ يَدَاكَ. This is what Allah says, كُلُّ نَفْسٍ بِمَا كَسَبَتْ. Every soul with what it earned is hostage to. Very powerful verse, that you become hostage to your work, that what you do, what you accomplish, how and what you behave in this world, you become hostage to it. What is the meaning of hostage? It means that you don't leave it, it doesn't leave you unless there is something in return. And in return, Allah has either reward and punishment. And we discussed in Surah Al-Zalzala, فَمَنْ يَعْمَلْ مِثْقَالَ ذَرَّةٍ خَيْرًا يَرَهُ وَمَنْ يَعْمَلْ مِثْقَالَ ذَرَّةٍ شَرًّا يَرَهُ. An atom worth of good, you shall see it. An atom worth of evil, you shall see it. Now, this moment, at this time, let me give you this example. You see each other right now, we're standing. But if you put someone under the X-ray, you will see him or her in a different form. You'll see their bones, you'll see their parts, you'll be able to see something beyond what seems to be the outside. And if you wear some special glasses, you can see at night based on the heat that everybody emits. You will see the kind of heat that is emitting, and you will be able to see things about a person that normally you don't see. Right or wrong? These are things that happen to us, that happen to our bodies, that happens in every single day. For example, right now, there are things happening in this room that our eyes are not capturing. How many of us are carrying a phone, a cell phone? Raise your hand. Alright, mashallah, the rest of you are not. I am so impressed. Seriously, most of you are not carrying cell phones with you? No? Mashallah. That's, by the way, that's today, in today's world, that's amazing. We're so stuck to our cell phones. It's part of our makeup. So I'm impressed when I see someone can leave their phone behind, and I'm sure because you want to come and listen to the lecture, that's all. The cell phone, in order for the cell phone to work, it needs to what? Communicate with a cell tower. So somewhere around this area, if you see a tower, a pole, you will see at the end there's like a piece of device that receives the signals and transmits the signal from one tower to another. To do what? In order for us to communicate. And right now, this room has signals traveling all over the place. We don't see it. But if we use the right devices, we can measure them, we can see them. Our actions, dear brothers and sisters, have the exact same qualities. Meaning what? What you do right now, as you're sitting right now, as you're listening to me, and I'm talking to you, first, at the simplest level, there is the level of intent. Why are you here? We don't know. I don't know your intent. Each other don't know our intent, but you surely know your intent. And the intent itself has an effect on how good the result of the action is. So you pay attention to this. The intent, just by creating an intent right now as you're sitting, it will reflect on the way you listen, on the way you comprehend, on the way you grow, on the way you benefit, or on the way you waste your time. It all depends on the intent, the underlying thought there. Why are you doing what you're doing? Some of us do not realize it, But Allah Azza wa Jal describes to us and talks to us in many different verses in the Holy Quran on the power of intent. The importance of intent. So intent is one of the things that you have that no one except you know of, but it drives, it shapes, it forms, it helps shape the outcome of your being here. Furthermore, your intent is not only effective here, but every single instant that you're listening right now, if you're driven with the right intent, it has an everlasting effect on what you do outside. Let me make it extremely clear for you. In this world, in this universe, Allah Azza wa Jal did not create anything in vain. Take it out of your mind that there is such thing as a wasted instant. There is no such thing as, oh, this has no use to it. Everything, Allah Azza wa Jal is the all-wise. The all-wise, and if we get to understand, dear brothers and sisters, the power of understanding the names of Allah Azza wa Jal, they can drive shaping a better life of yours. When we say Allah the Almighty is the all-wise, as a result, nothing He creates is in vain. Everything He creates is what? Is also a product of His wisdom. So because He is all-wise, the creation or the product is also and carries wisdom in it. Since everything in this universe is Allah's creation, therefore the result is what? That every single thing, everything, I mean everything has wisdom to it. And everything therefore comes in this universe with a purpose. And because everything has a purpose and everything has wisdom, therefore, and because nothing is in vain, dear brothers and sisters, it means that everything you do counts. Everything. Even when you sit and you think you're thinking about nothing, just relaxing, in reality, that moment has an effect on you. Because nothing is in vain. Nothing. Therefore, in addition to that, even when you sleep, it's counted for you or against you. Sleep? Yes, dear brothers and sisters. Let me explain this. The intent that drives you, that's why it is important, according to our narratives that is related to us by our Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam and his holy household, that before we go to sleep, first of all, for example, we sleep on after performing wudu, in the state of purity, that we read few verses, that we make sure that we flush our minds and ourselves from negative thoughts so we can connect in the domains when we sleep with the other realms, so we can benefit even in the state of our sleep. That's why sometimes people sleep and have some crazy dreams, and others, when they sleep, every dream of theirs matter because their state of mind matters. Let's go back. So if everything matters, dear brothers and sisters, every single thing, what is the value of wasting our time? When Allah says Azza wa Jal, فَذَرْهُمْ يَخُوضُوا وَيَلْعَبُوا حَتَّى يُلَاقُوا يَوْمَهُمُ الَّذِي يُوعَدُونَ. Let them waste their time and play until they meet the day that they were promised. يَوْمَ يَخْرُجُونَ مِنَ الْأَجْدَاثِ سِرَاعًا. The day they will be resurrected from their graves in haste. It is such an instant that we all will be resurrected and we are in a hurry to leave our graves. كَأَنَّ كأنهم إلى نصب يوفضون. As if they were hastening onto a goal, like they have a purpose, they know where they're going. Then he describes, look at this verse. And by the way, this is not the day that we die. No, the day we're resurrected from our graves. Because Allah Azza wa Jal, by the way, in one of the chapters he describes when a person, his soul is being taken from him. What does he say to the angel? Because now, what we have been promised, the moment of death, of transition, and death does not mean the end of life. As a matter of fact, it's only a beginning of a new life. It's a life that you see what you've done in this world, a life of purgatory. It's an interesting life. I hope I had time to explain to you what happens in purgatory life, and then what happens in the stations that come after. Man will be saying, Allah says, man will be saying, let me go back. لَعَلِّي أَعْمَلْ صَالِحًا. So I may do something good, I change. When we see the angel of death coming and taking us, Allah says, كَلَّا. No. إِنَّهَا كَلِمَةٌ هُوَ قَائِلُهَا. It's only a word they're saying. And after this, they have purgatory life for them to live. But here Allah Azza wa Jal says, on the day of reckoning, when everyone is resurrected, we are coming out in a hurry from our graves. Allah describes, when someone just picks up and goes, like he has somewhere to go, there is a goal. He describes us like that. Like there is somewhere we're trying to go to. As if we know our destination. But the following verse, look at how it shifts from being so much in a hurry. خَاشِعَةً أَبْصَارُهُمْ تَرْهَقُهُمْ ذِلَّةٌ. There is a change now. Their eyes cast down. Disgrace shall overtake them. Why? Now we see the reality. Now we're in this world that God has told us about. And now, there's disgrace. Now there's a realization. Wow, what have I been doing? All the stuff that they were telling me, the things that I didn't care for, the time that I wasted in vain, I'm accounted for. ذَلِكَ الْيَوْمُ الَّذِي كَانُوا يُوعَدُونَ. That day, they were being promised. So Allah Azza wa Jal reminds us in another verse. He said, ذَرْهُمْ يَأْكُلُوا وَيَتَمَتَّعُوا. Leave them. Leave them. Let them eat and have joy only. وَيُلْهِهِمُ الْأَمَلِ. And they're taken over by hope. They live only on hope. فَسَوْفَ يَعْلَمُونَ. They will surely know. Allah is talking about our state of mind and heart, dear brothers and sisters. We get so busy in things. We always, let me tell you, we wake up in the morning and we guarantee ourselves that we will be able to sleep at night. And when we sleep at night, we know it's not even having hope. We have certainty we are going to wake up in the morning. The state of mind gets to a level of assurance that we forget the reality that we are not in control. And we go to sleep not thinking maybe we will not wake up. We wake up not thinking we may not make it through the day. No, we're positive. And what happens? This accumulates so much hope. Too much hope results in lack of fear and lack of actuality, lack of now, lack of thinking, what am I doing right now? Because what? Every time I think I have more time, what happens to me? The more time I have, the more I get to procrastinate. Two things killed man. Al-Imam Salamullahi Ta'ala alayhi says, قَتَلَ قتل الإنسان. Two things. كثرة التسويف, too much procrastination, and what? طول الأمل, too much hope. Too much procrastination. When I have too much hope, I'll do that tomorrow. You know what? I'll change tomorrow. You know what? I'll start doing things tomorrow. What about now? What about doing it now? What about changing now? The question though, what if I'm gonna change now wrong? Sometimes I procrastinate, sometimes I plan. Two different things. For example, you know what? I really want to start reading the Quran, but I plan reading the Quran, I plan to put 2-3 hours, but in order for me to do it correctly, I'm going to finish my work right now. In order for me to be able to sleep early when I get to work, when I get home tonight, I'm not going to go sahrat, I'm not going to go sleep, stay up all night, I'm not going to go watch TV, I'm not going to waste my time. What I'm going to do, I'm going to try to go to sleep right away in order for me to wake up on at prayers time, in order for me to spend time after Salatul Subh to pray, because to read Quran, because that is the best time to read Quran. So what have I done? Have I procrastinated? No, I planned. As long as I acted on something right now. My action on something that I am right now learning, and I'm going home and I'm not falling for my desires, which tells me, come on, go hang out with the guys or the girls. Come on, go out and have some sara, have some fun. You have so much ahead of you. Why are you so strict? When do we change, dear brothers and sisters? Dear brothers and sisters, sometimes we procrastinate in our work. Ya ibn Adam, Al-Imam Al-Hussein Salamullahi Ta'ala alayhi says it beautifully. Ya ibn Adam, innama anta ayyam. Look, the power of the words of the Imam alayhi salam. You're only but days. كلما مضى يوم ذهب بعضك. Every time a day passes by, some of you is gone. Some of me is gone. As I live through the days, as the days pass by, dear brothers and sisters, also I deteriorate. I become weak. When the day goes by, I cannot retract it and bring it back again. Al-Imam Salamullahi Ta'ala alayhi, I believe Rasul Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam says the following hadith. If you ever, how many of you attended a funeral? How many of you make sure that you attend a funeral? Let me tell you, dear brothers and sisters, one of the best things that Rasul Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam tells us and advises us to do is when there's a funeral to go and attend it and make sure that when we see the body being lifted, that we are walking behind it. And the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wa sallam says, إِذَا أَنْتَ حَمَلْتَ جَنَازَةً فَكُنْ كَأَنَّكَ أَنْتَ الْمَحْمُولُ. When you carry this janazah, this body, imagine as if you're the one being carried. وَكَأَنَّكَ, look at this most powerful piece of it. وَكَأَنَّكَ سَأَلْتَ رَبَّكَ الرُّجُوعَ. And as you're imagining that you're the body that is being carried by the people, imagine that you asked your Lord the chance to come back to this world. وَكَأَنَّكَ سَأَلْتَ رَبَّكَ الرُّجُوعَ إِلَى الدُّنْيَا فَفَعَلَ. And He answered your call. فَانظُرْ مَاذَا تَسْتَهْدِفُ. Now that you got the chance to come back to this world, look into how you're going to begin your life again. So imagine, when you carry this body, as people are about to bury it under this earth, and imagine that you're the one being carried. The Imam, the Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam says, ask Allah Azza wa Jalla at that moment that you, because imagine that you're being carried, and ask Him that He gives you another chance. Ask Him that He allows you to come back. And now that you realize you are not being carried, that you're still walking, look how would you restart your life? See, what happens that causes us to procrastinate? عن رسول الله صلى الله عليه وآله وسلم علامة الكسلان, the sign of a lazy person. يتوانى حتى يفرط ويفرط حتى يضيع ويضيع حتى يأثم. It's very simple. He always is late doing things until everything runs out of his hand. And when he loses everything from his hand, he becomes lost. And when he's lost, he sins. And when he is lost, he's also bored. How many of us let time pass by without investing in it? Let me tell you about time, dear brothers and sisters. Because Imam Salamullahi Ta'ala alayhi, Imam al-Baqir alayhi salam says, laziness hurts your dunya and the hereafter, this world and the hereafter. And he also says, I hate for a man to be lazy for his livelihood. Because whoever is lazy for his livelihood, surely he's lazier for his hereafter. Some of us don't like to work. Some of us don't like to start our day. Some of us are so lazy. Everything, man, some people, I don't understand what is that relationship they have with sleep. You can't drag them out of bed. And they're proud of it too. Oh, I love sleeping. Really? You just wasted your life. Sleep is a tool for you to regain energy in order for you to restart your day. But some of us a few days ago, somebody said, inshallah, tomorrow I'm planning to wake up early and inshallah, I'll start doing my work. I said, okay, so he goes, I'll start doing right after Salat al-Dhuhr wal Asr. I said, I thought you told me you're going to wake up early. He said, yeah, I'll wake up around 1 o'clock. I looked at him, Sayyid, it's Shahr Ramadan. Like, okay, really? So Shahr Ramadan gives you it's okay for you to sleep in? What happens? Shahr Ramadan is about a struggle. It's about doing something useful while you're fasting. And I know, subhanallah, I know most of you may forget the Quran, may forget the hadith, but they remember this one line of the sermon of the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa alihi wa sallam in Sha'ban about the month of Shahr Ramadan. What does he say about fasting? وَنَوْمُكُمْ فِيهِ عِبَادًا. And your sleep in the month of Shahr Ramadan is worship. Sayyid, I'm worshiping God. Right? You're putting a lot of hours of worship. I am not kidding you. Someone I know, a friend I know, I'm like, Assalamu alaikum, person A. Of course, I had to call about 7 times. And we had an appointment we had to go to. And until he woke up on the phone, I'm like, where are you? He's like saying, I am deep in worship. I'm like, at the beginning, I'm like, wow, did I take him away from like a certain prayer or something? He goes, Sayyid, you know what, can you go handle the appointment alone? I really don't think I should. The problem is I fell for it too. I'm like, oh my God, okay, go ahead, finish your worship, inshallah. He's like, inshallah, I said, remember me in your dua. He goes, inshallah, I'll try. So later on at night, I was asking his wife, I told her, I called him and his wife answered, I said, inshallah, person A, inshallah, he was able to finish his worship early and everything was done, and I hope I didn't. He's like, Sayyid, what are you talking about? He said, I called him when he was deep in worship. She goes, yeah, he was deep in sleep. He just woke up 2 hours ago. Oh man, and I actually bought it. And I was thinking, what a bad man, he's such a great person. I cannot be such a worshiper like him. See what happens. The Rasul sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, in all of his supplications, he used to say, God, Allahumma a'udhu bika min al-hammi wal-huzni wal-ajzi wal-kasal. He asks Allah Azza wa Jalla to protect him and keep him away from laziness. Because, dear brothers and sisters, in laziness, you lose yourself. Laziness is your worst enemy. Laziness is where you let opportunities pass. Laziness, when you let your life pass by and you do nothing. And the partner of laziness is wasting time. They're very much similar and the same. When you waste your time, today ask yourself, let me ask you, right now is 10:30. We start our prayers at around 4:15 or so in the morning. We did the imsak about 3:50, 4 o'clock depending. So from 4 o'clock, let's say, you slept for an hour. I mean, you prayed, you read Quran for an hour, that's 5 a.m. 5:30, let's say 5 o'clock. You slept until 9 a.m., 4 hours. And you started your day. How effective was your day? What I want you to do tonight, seriously, before you go to sleep, it's not going to take you much time. I ask you sincerely to do this. Take a piece of paper and write 12 to 1, 1 to 2, 2 to 3, all the way to 24 hours. And write down what did you do today in the 24 hours. The most valuable thing you have in your life, your time. How did you invest? How much of the 24 hours were you heedless, wasting time, doing nothing, burning your time, burning your life? See, in Dua Kumail, how many of you read Dua Kumail every Thursday night? Supplication of Kumail, you know what it is? Raise your hand, raise your hand. Okay, the rest of you should start learning how to read it. It's a very important supplication. In it, Imam Ali ibn Abi Talib alayhi salam, he taught Kumail to say, Ya Rabbi, Ya Rabbi, Ya Rabbi. See here, we are asking Allah Azza wa Jalla. أسألك بحقك وقدسك. I beseech you by your truth and your holiness. By your truth and your holiness. And that's, we're asking Allah Azza wa Jalla. وأعظم صفاتك وأسمائك. And the greatest of your attributes and your titles. Look at what we ask Allah. The Imam is teaching us what to ask Allah. أن تجعل أوقاتي في الليل والنهار. To make my periods of time, of night and of day, بذكرك معمورا, is filled with your remembrance. وبخدمتك موصولا. And that is continuously, persistently at your service. وأعمالي عندك مقبولا. And my actions are accepted by you. حتى تكون أعمالي وأورادي كلها وردا واحدا. So all my offerings and all my acts are considered all single in your eyes and accepted. وحالي في خدمتك سرمدا. And my state is continuously at your service everlasting. Ya Sayyidi, Ya man alayhi mu'awwali. O my Master, O whom upon Him is my dependence. يا من إليه شكوت أحوالي. Oh, He to whom I protest and I tell my own situation. Look at this request. Ya Rabbi, Ya Rabbi, Ya Rabbi, qawwi ala khidmatika jawarihi. Strengthen my limbs for your service. See the body, my body? Make them strong so I can be at your service. Give me more energy so I can worship you. وَاشْدُدْ عَلَى الْعَزِيمَةِ جَوَانِحِي. And fortify me all of what I have so I can be served you. وَهَبْ لِيَ الْجِدَّ فِي خَشْيَتِكَ. Al-jid is seriousness. Give me that seriousness in fearing you. وَالدَّوَامَ فِي الْإِتِّصَالِ بِخِدْمَتِكَ. And the continuity in being at your service. All this while, dear brothers and sisters, simply because the Imam wants us to be strong. Let me make a final comment. We all want to service our Imam. We all talk about being with our 12th holy Imam. Let me make it clear. Have you heard of the 12th holy Imam, Imam al-Mahdi al-Muntadhar? Have you heard of him or not? Have you or have you not? Have you or have you not? He does not want anyone that is lazy. You think of his companions will be the lazy ones, the procrastinators, those who live with hope and no action, those who want to be an element, people, individuals with the Imam Sahib al-Asr wal Zaman are only ones who are serious about their lives. And those who are serious about their lives put the time to change their lives. They're full of energy, full of focus, full of seriousness. And they don't allow laziness and time wasting to be part of who they are. And the beauty of what Allah Azza wa Jalla, dear brothers and sisters, is explained at the end of Dua Kumail. This is one part of Dua Kumail that I love the most. 3 words. It describes how Allah Azza wa Jalla deals with us. And it should give us so much good, serious hope that we can base action on it. Right now, all of us have done different things in our lives. We have history, bad history, good history. We have things we want to change. But we think to ourselves, would Allah allow and accept us? At the end of Dua Kumail, no matter what you've done, this statement should give you so much hope. Ya Sari' al-Rida. Rida is what? Rida is when someone is pleased with you. And the Imam says, talking to Allah, he describes him how? Ya Sari' al-Rida. Oh, you're so fast at being pleased. You're pleased so fast by what? As long as we direct ourselves to you. He says, اغفر لمن لا يملك إلا الدعاء. Forgive he who has nothing except the supplication. I don't have nothing except my supplication. فإنك فعال لما تشاء. Surely God, you do whatever you will to do. يا من اسمه دواء. Your name, O Lord, is a remedy. وذكره شفاء. And your remembrance is cure. وطاعته غنى, and whose obedience is wealth. Irham, have mercy. من رأس ماله الرجاء, have mercy on he whose his capital, his wealth is nothing except hope in you. وسلاحه البكاء, and his weapon is only his tears. يا سابغ النعم, oh you all giving to your blessings. يا دافع النقام, you repel adversaries. يا نور المستوحشين في الظلام, the light of those who are lonely in darkness. Look at that description. When you're completely in darkness, can't see anything, Allah is the only light for you to see. يا عالما لا يعلم, a knower who is never taught. صل على محمد وآل محمد وافعل به ما أنت أهله, وصلى الله على رسوله محمد وعلى آل بيته الطيبين الطاهرين. We ask Allah forgiveness. I ask you forgiveness and ask Allah forgiveness, and we repent to Him in these nights. And we ask Him guidance, and we ask Him to show us the path as we try to better ourselves. And the last of our prayers is Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen, wa sallallahu ala rasulihi Muhammad wa ala ali baytihi at-tayyibin at-tahirin.